Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have another quick video for you today. This one, I'm going to be making a snow globe card using the snow globe die, the Halloween scenic dies, the Halloween dies, RAP, which is a new one, and the Halloween panel stamp set and stitch circle dies. So I'm making a shape card for you today. And I'm also using Teresa Collins' 6x6" designer pad called Masquerade Party. So now I've cut out the snow globe backing with black cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. And the gray cardstocks are actually some leftover cardstock. I think they're like Simon Says Stamp Gray Fog. I'm not 100% sure. So I cut two of those. And then the patterns are from that Masquerade Party. And that yellow is American Crafts cardstock and pattern paper. And there is that scenic die that I cut out. So I cut it out. I first cut out the scenic die and then I cut it out with the circle. I did the same with that, with the fence. So I cut it out and then I cut it out with the circle so it would fit in there. Now I pre-stamped my greeting onto the label that goes with the snow globe. So here we are. I scored one of my snow globes. With my Teflon bone folder, and I'm applying some score tape just to the top of it, and I'm burnishing it with my Teflon bone folder. Then I'll peel it off and I'm going to make a shaped card base. So I'm just going to stick it on to my other gray piece, and that's going to be my card base. So I'm lining it all up here, making sure I'm all lined up so it's perfect, or as perfect as I can get it. And then that will be my shape card. This will fit in an A2 envelope because it's a little smaller than an A2, so you can put it on an A2 card base also. So there it is. And now I'll be applying my black layer to the front of this with my ATG gun. Now I could have used black for all of this, but I didn't want to have to, write in white gel pen or something. So I thought I had some of this Simon Says Stamp cardstock sitting beside me, and I thought I'll just make that as my base. I could have used white, whatever, but I chose this gray because I figured, it sort of goes with what I've got going on. So now I'm lining up my top, or my cover layer, and I'm just doing that and putting it down in black. So there we go. So isn't that cute? I love this snow globe die. You can make all sorts of scenes with it. So now that paper is from that Teresa Collins Masquerade Party pad. So I cut it out using the circle from the snow globe. And now I'm applying it to the top of the snow globe. And isn't that cute? So that's like a spider web background. Excuse me. The only way I like spiders is in crafting. I don't want them in my own house. So, but for Halloween, I can do spiders, no problem. So there is the edge of the snow globe die. That is cut out of the black Paper Tray Ink cardstock also. And I'm using my Simon Says Stamp craft tacky glue. I'm applying it to my circle background there. So that'll be the edge. And I'm just using my reverse tweezers to hold on to it and line them up. You just want it, to be lined up perfectly. Now this, you can make a shaker with this too. Like, it's pretty fabulous. This die is a fabulous die set. I love it. And like I said, you can make any kind of snow globe, for all different types of seasons. And I was going for a Halloween one this time. So this is that scenic die, which I think these scenic dies are perfect from Jaded Blossom. You just gotta love them. So now I'm lining up my moon so it sort of goes behind those windows. That's my idea. I just want them to shine. And now I'm applying glue to the back of this whole thing, and then I'll line that up with the outline. So there we go. So that is being lined up perfectly, like I said, using my EK Success reverse tweezers. And like, this is a super easy card to make. Like, you can crank these out super fast. So there's the fence. I cut that out of Paper Tray Ink Smoky Shadow cardstock, and then I cut it out again with the circle die, just so everything had that perfect circle edge. Now you could trim it out by hand, you could do all sorts of things, but you already have the die, so I kind of make use with the die. All my die cutting is always done with my Gemini machine, and cuts dies like butter, let me tell you. And you don't have to crank anything. Me being a lazy crafter, that's perfect for me. I don't want to expend too much energy crafting, right? So there's the base. I used the pattern paper from that same pad Masquerade Party. You know that your best bet when mixing patterns is to choose patterns all from either one line of paper, like one company, or, you know, one pad, because they're all made to go together. You can't go wrong that way. So there we are. And look how cute that is. Like, I just think this is adorable. So now we're all set to finish up our card, like super fast. So now I'm just getting things done. Now you can see there is my image and everything. Now I'm going to be, you notice that I pre-stamped my spooky greetings. That was from that stamp set called Halloween Panels. I used Ink on 3's Juicy Ink and Ranger's Fine Detail White Embossing Powder, and I embossed that. You notice, see the back one that I made? If you push too hard when you're stamping, your lines of your sentiment get too thick and kind of messy. So I just restamped it again and reheat embossed. So, and you can just use it so it's a little thicker. That's all. So now I'm going to be attaching this to the base I'm just using my little pokey tool there, and I'm poking through the 2 holes, and I'll be using my oldies but goodies tiny little brads that I had in my stash. This is the time you can pull them out, people, and use them. You might as well use them. And I don't mind those showing through to the inside of the card. When it's something like that doesn't bother me. So there we are, like nice and clean and simple. You know, you can't go wrong. So now those 2 spiders are from the RIP stamp set from Jaded Blossom's latest release. And I'm just going to stamp a couple of spiders on the web in the background. You know, you might as well. So I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'm just freehand stamping. You know, you can't go wrong. Like these stamps stamp really well. Like when I'm doing sentiments, and if I have to repeatedly stamp something, I tend to use my Misty. But for something small like this, I've already, tested it on my paper in the background just to make sure it stamps okay. It always does. So you can freehand stamp these images, no problem. Especially when you're using like VersaFine Onyx Black. You know, it's a nice juicy ink, and you get really nice clear stamps with it. So there we go. So I really like how that looks so far. Now I've got my spider. Now that was cut out with the black cardstock from Paper Trink again, and the Halloween dies from Jaded Blossom. And now I'm popping this spider up using Stampin' Up's dimensionals, the small ones, or the mini ones, I guess you want to call them. And I'm just going to pop that up on my background. I'm using my reverse tweezers there just to get my hands out of the way. And I really think this turned out great. So now I'm adding a little bit of glue to the back of my little haunted house and, the little, cemetery pieces and stuff. This is how I get glue on the back of things that are sticking up. I put some glue on the back of a scrap piece of cardstock, and I just kind of tap it on the back of the images that I want to stick down. And basically that's that. So I'm going to stamp those, or set them down so they're stuck down. I don't mind a little bit of dimension, so I'm not going to worry about sticking everything down perfectly, but for the most part I'm trying to get most of them stuck down. So I'm just going to go back and I'll touch a little bit more glue here and there, and I'll hold them so they take. And there we go. So I'm loving that background from the scenic dies, the Halloween scenic dies. I just love the spooky little graveyard with the haunted house and the creepy tree. And I just think it's so cute. It's perfect for a fast Halloween card, let me tell you. So now I'm popping up this other spider again using the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm popping this one up also. So there we go. And isn't that cute? I just loved how this turned out. So now I'm using Nuvo Crystal Drops in Ebony Black. And, you want to test that out, make sure it's running okay. I'm going to put a few drops on the back of this spider just for some interest. And, it gives it a little something. So I'm just, adding 3 dots to the back of each spider. And then I'm going to add some to the center of the stamped spiders just to give them, give it a little bit of, make it more of a meaty spider. Do you know what I mean? Like, make it a little bit more dimensional. Give it a little more presence on my background. So what I did was I added a little drop, and then I'm going to take this skewer and I'm just going to drag it out so it fits the shape of the stamped body of the spider. And there we go. Now, it doesn't take super long for these drops to dry, but you want to wait. I'd probably wait 24 hours before you send it through the mail, just, just in case. But, they dry in a few hours. There we go. So I think it turned out great. Thank you so much for stopping by, and maybe you can make a Halloween scenic card of your own using Jaded Blossom dies and stamps. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.